What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how you doing?
What's up? Hey, long time no see. I feel like we just talked.
I know we just recorded the podcast last night. But we are going to be doing a spoiler cast for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So if you have not played it, stop what you're doing, pick it up,
And go play it.
and play it. I doubt it's going to be on sale for Black Friday, so you're going to have to shovel out the $60. But hey,
Yeah.
if you like action RPGs, turn-based stuff like that, it's pretty fun. Well, not turn-based. I guess
It's like what would you call that? Like a lot. It's like an auto battler.
yeah, like an auto battler. Like
It's
like
more
an
involved.
yeah, it's
than
like an action RPG sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about all the. Obviously, we're not. We don't know the entire lore of the game. I don't think either of us have done all the side quests and stuff like that. But we're going to just talk about really the main story and how it ends, and maybe some throwbacks to Xenoblade 1 and 2. But yeah, without further ado, Nick, do you want to kick us off, or how you just kind of want to go
Yeah,
through
and
the story?
I guess for background purposes, so you haven't played the other Xenoblade Chronicle. Well, you played a little bit of one.
I played about 6 hours of one, but I mean that's might as well not have played it at all in terms of like knowing what was going on. Which is luckily for Xenoblade 3, you don't need to know anything because
You really don't. I mean, there are moments in the game where it alludes to the first game and the second game. Like it once you get to the city and you see like the statues in the city, it's kind of alluding to other people in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. I think Shulk is referenced.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the main character from 2.
Oh, I don't know.
But
So, for my understanding of this game and where it falls in the timeline, so 1 and 2 are on the same path. They're happening at more or less the same time, and this is technically after like because the worlds are supposed to be colliding, and the Zed created this kind of standstill world of Ionis, right?
Ionius. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So he created that as a measure to stop the worlds from colliding.
Yeah.
Because beyond that is the unknown essentially, and Zed wanted to what was it? Live in the now.
The endless now.
The endless now. He wanted to live in this continuous moment.
Yeah.
Forever.
So the queen of Agnes and Kevis created this, like, what's the this is it Ionius or is it
You talking about Origin?
Origin? Yeah, they created Origin as like it'll save everybody's souls and like all that stuff, and then once everything happens and I guess the split stops or everything goes back to like each world, then it's supposed to have everybody's souls go back, whatever, kind of resets everything. But they're also not quite sure that's actually going to happen as it should, so that's why Zed created the endless now or whatever. So
yeah, and to kind of like dig into that a little bit, like so Noah, Lands, and Uni are all on the Agnian side, and that's that's really the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It seems like they're from that world. And then you have Mio, Senna, and Tyon. They're from the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
And it really reveals that once you meet their queens.
Right.
Which is Melia from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, who you play as you play as her in the first game, but you play as her in Future Connected, which is the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So that's where that kind of connects. And then the queen of the shoots. It's Agnian and
Tevis.
Yeah, sorry. Kevesi was Noah's side, and Agnian was Mio's side. So Kevesi is like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and Agnian is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and their queen was Nia,
Yeah.
who is a playable character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is like a huge reveal. Like seeing those two queens revealed was a pretty big moment. Like that's one of the moments where it helps to have played the other games, but I don't know. Did you feel lost when you saw the reveal of those of the queens of each side?
I mean, not really lost, I guess. I didn't really put it together till the very end, where they were talking about the different worlds and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's Xenoblade 1 and that's Xenoblade 2 or whatever. And then I watched like a hour long like kind of discussion video and stuff like that, so that helped a lot. But as far as like the story of Xenoblade 3 itself, no, I wasn't really lost. I kind of had a pretty good idea of what was going on. I just didn't necessarily know the throwbacks to Xenoblade 1 and 2 in those respective worlds. So I guess playing those would have definitely helped. That have been like an aha moment, but I didn't really understand it until I finished the game and watched some other stuff to go along with Xenoblade 3.
Yeah. I'm just like thinking back to the ending now, and
because I have a theory as well that we'll talk about that when we kind of wrap everything up. But so yeah, that's the story. We don't necessarily need to go into all the crazy details because again, we're not super heavy on like the lore itself, I guess. But as a game, there were obviously some pretty big moments in the game. Specifically, like the end of Chapter 5 was pretty crazy. I mean, I was already invested in the story before that, but once that ended, and Mio gets killed or gets sent off to the queen, gets her homecoming or whatever, and then it's revealed that it was actually M that they had swapped bodies. So a really cool moment, I thought, and really smart. But Nick, the most important question for you: did you cut Mio's hair, or do you leave it long?
I cut her hair to get back to
I did the same thing
to her original hairstyle, because I was like, man, it feels like I'm playing as M.
Yeah, it feels weird.
I'm not, or I guess I am, but I'm not. But yeah, that was a crazy reveal. It felt like the season finale of like an anime or like some crazy show or something. Like I don't know. Like I knew she couldn't have died, right? Because she's a playable character, unless they like went really crazy with it and you just didn't have her for the rest of the game.
That's what I expected. Because like it really builds up. Like, okay, she's only got like a couple months left. It's going to take a couple months to actually get to the, get to the what's the sword base, whatever.
The city?
Yeah, the city or whatever. It takes a while to get there. So I was like, man, they're really playing this hard. Like she's like on her last like couple months, and then they get captured, and then it just kind of goes to like that long like scene between.
That was pretty emotional. Like when they're in the jail cell.
Yeah, between Mio and Noah. But yeah,
that was M, right? Was that M at that point? Or
that
was that still Mio?
That was M at that point, but she was just, I mean, because she still has the same feelings, right? For Noah, that doesn't necessarily change, but obviously with N, and he chose his path versus what Noah eventually chooses. But yeah, that was a huge emotional like scene and like ending to Chapter 5, and yeah, super crazy.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments in the game, and one of my favorite moments in gaming in general. Like you said, like they build up to it for so long, and then they kind of like cut it short by not allowing Noah to really be the one that like sends her off.
Yeah.
Am I remembering that correctly? Like they kind of like they kind of stop him from being able to do that.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was somebody else that does it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, super emotional. And after that point, I was just wanted to see what craziness happened next, and then eventually it's revealed. I think after this, it's revealed that it's just like an endless cycle. Like all these people are clones and getting. Well, I think they'd already kind of. Well, no, because it was. I think maybe that was already revealed. And then once M gets sent off, then you have that reveal with Zed about how he chose his path, and that's when Noah kind of rejects it. And trying to remember it correctly, but yeah.
So then you kind of like get into in M's history.
Yeah.
Of them like being like in love with each other and in wanting to hold on to their moment forever, and that's kind of what leads him on that spiral, and he ends up like burning an entire city.
Yeah.
In order to keep the endless now, because it could feed off of the souls of humans, I guess.
Yeah.
So you kind of like you see like you kind of side with him a little bit, because I don't know, you can see where he's coming from. He just wants to be with Mio. He wants to be with M forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's a good lesson that nothing lasts forever, and you can't just try to hold on to things.
Yeah.
You can't. There is no endless now.
No. It can only last so long before somebody's going to be like, okay, this isn't right. This has got to change. But yeah, what a crummy, like the Ouroboros, what is
the Mobius?
The Mobius. You just like, what? Like, they are just utter dickheads. Like, just constantly having these people die and just constant war is crazy. And like having like the artificial like 10-year span so they can get you back in and
recycle them
and stuff like that. That's super messed up. Is there any other parts of the game, like story wise, that you want to talk about? Coming after that, it's really just I think you go talk to the queen of Kevis, where you find her castle, like her floating castle.
Yes. Yeah. So you find I think that's Nia. Nia.
Yeah.
You go to Nia. You get that big reveal, and she's like, it's so funny. Like she's trying to hide her accent. She's trying to be more regal.
Yeah.
And like her like very like it's like almost like an Irish accent of sorts.
Yeah.
It keeps like slipping out, and you're like, what the heck's going on? So that was a good callback to the second game.
Yeah.
And then it really picks up from there. Like chapter 6 was super short.
Yeah, it was short.
I'm pretty sure. And then
that's when you learn about the two worlds colliding, right? And that's where how they created Origin. But then, did it really explain? Maybe I just missed this part. But where did Zed come from? Was he created from Origin, or I couldn't remember how he was created.
I can't remember. I mean, I just know he's the leader of Mobius.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it ever explained like where Mobius actually came from.
Yeah. I'm sure it does at some point, maybe like in a side quest or something like that. Or maybe we just totally missed it, but yeah, it's chapter 6 super quick. Chapter 7 is kind of just the lead up to fighting Zed. Super long boss fight, and like
an hour and a half.
Yeah, and like typical JRPG fashion of fighting a giant head at the end. So I didn't feel like that was super great, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, like I was really worried I was gonna lose and have to like start it all over again, and I reached a couple of points where like I was like this close to dying, and I didn't, which was good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it had some cool moments, like fighting with everybody else, having your team kind of split up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, getting help from Melia and Nia.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was cool.
Yeah, it had some cool parts. It definitely dragged on. I didn't like the first act where like you just couldn't do any damage to Zed.
That was a little
It was
annoying.
weird.
And then eventually you defeat him, and then N and M come out. I guess they were a part of Mio and Noah the whole time, and then they kind of have to sacrifice themselves to truly destroy Zed, because they were still part of Mobius.
Yep. And then after that, you reactivate Origin, which I don't know if we really explained what Origin was, but it was it was like an arc that stored the data and memories of both worlds, so that it could be used to like rebuild the worlds once they merged together.
Yeah.
And like Zed's whole thing was like he pretty much hijacked Origin.
Yeah.
And used it to create like that kind of like third world.
Yeah.
That had the Endless now, but you essentially reactivate Origin, and Noah and friends decide to keep on keep on the reconstruction process. Basically allow the worlds to separate again, even though they're eventually going to collide, and all life on Earth is gonna, or all life on both planets is going to cease to exist.
Yeah.
And maybe be reborn through the Origin,
or maybe not. They didn't really know at that point for sure.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it leaves, right? Like that really emotional song plays, and you have your one-on-one moments with each of the like respective, not couples, but just like
the interlinking partners.
Yeah, the interlinking partners, and it's
Noah and Mio finally kissy kiss, and then
finally do a little kiss,
and then like just like a slow, like everything starts to pull apart, and it's just like them all running at each other, and they can't obviously get to each other anymore, and then it then it ends, and then it shows Lance, Noah, and who is it? Lance, Noah, and
Uni
as kids again, and it's got Jay. What was his name? Jay Yorin. It's got Yorin there as well. So everything kind of went as it should be. It was reborn like it should have been. But then you hear a little flute.
You hear something?
The officer's flute from Mio, and this is where my which I got this. This is not my original thought, so I got this from another video. And maybe this will be explored in like the future, the DLC coming out soon. But it was speculated that Noah hears Mio's flute, and if you watch in the scene, it shows him walking behind somebody, and then on like the next frame, he's completely gone. So the theory is that he interlinked with Mio. And the interlinking is that used like through like emotion and stuff like that. So that would kind of make sense,
that it kind of like triggered it.
Yeah. So that's the theory that I got off that video that I watched. So that could be really interesting. Going forward.
So you think they were able to interlink even though they were in different worlds?
Yeah.
Wow, their bond was just so strong.
Because they would still be Ouroboros, because they would still have like it should have saved their data or whatever, as Origin was supposed to. So they would technically still be Ouroboros too. I'm assuming. So that would make sense if they could interlink. So, who knows if the DLC is actually going to be like the future of Xenoblade 3, or if it's just going to take place like while before you fight Zed and stuff. I don't think they've really confirmed that yet. So yeah, pretty interesting.
The art for the DLC, like the key art, has Noah's blade, Rex's blade, and Shulk's blade all.
Oh, okay. I have not seen the art. Okay.
All in the ground, all connected. So the theory is that maybe through interlinking, obviously you can you can meet. I mean, depending on when this takes place, depending on when it is in the timeline, but you could meet up with Shulk, and then through interlinking, you could meet back up with Mio and meet up with Rex.
Yeah. Okay. That could be
cool.
So
that's. I hope it takes place in the future. I hope it's not like a past DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I think will happen.
Cool.
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to talk about was so the picture at the end, the picture that that Nia looks at the end that has like Rex and Pyra and Mithra
and
their other counterpart. It's such a funny picture because it's Rex with these 3 girls.
Yeah.
They allegedly all have his babies. So he's just like a Giga Chad. Just
that's funny.
Like Nia had his baby. Pyra did, and then Mithra
Good
did
God,
as
man.
well.
He got around then.
I know.
It's funny.
Guy was getting it.
He's getting it.
But yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts overall on the story? Did you obviously liked it?
Yeah, I really liked it. And again, it was with it being like a sequel to, more or less a sequel to 1 and 2, and you not needing to know what was going on to actually understand the story was really good for me. But overall, I thought the story was incredible. Like all the scenes, like I would always just sit my controller down and just be completely focused on it. Like in some games, like there's a cutscene, you get your phone, whatever. But this, I was engrossed in it, and it was just like watching like an anime for the most part. Like it's so ridiculous. Like all the interlinking stuff was super cool. The chain link attacks were awesome. Just going back to the combat. I still want to go back and finish up like some side quests and get some more characters, but there's so much to play right now, so I don't know if I ever will or have time. But yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, definitely my favorite story of the year.
Yeah,
I think hands down. Like, just what a game! Like,
yeah,
so impactful. Just every step of the way, like you can really feel everyone coming together like a group of friends would on a journey.
Yeah, and to have so many different characters, like none of them felt overly annoying or anything like that. Like I liked all of their personalities and stuff. I even I never really even got tired of like the post the
post battle
dialogue or whatever, even though they said it all the time, but
it's kind of endearing.
Yeah, it's like it's I'm the girl with the gall, and Lance has got something meaty for you or something like that. Like all that stuff. Yeah, like all that stuff was just really really awesome, and again, just never got old. But and even that combat, like it's not a lot of games have that style of combat, and I think they just do a really good job with kind of onboarding you with the tutorials and all that stuff. So yeah,
yeah, they do a much better job than 1 and 2 did.
Yeah, because I mean, you can do all the stuff like if you want to, but like they slowly kind of onboard you with, so you're not overwhelmed with all the mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was a very very good game. Very good.
It was.
One could say game of the year.
Hey, it's a game of the year contender.
It is. So glad it didn't get snuffed. I would too. Like, it's going to be either Elden Ring or Ragnarok, and probably Ragnarok, but
I think it'll probably be Elden Ring.
You think it'll be Elden Ring?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't played Ragnarok yet, but Elden Ring is just one. I mean, we talked about it last night, but it's just one of those games, man. But yeah, if Xenoblade won, that would be. I would love that even more because I feel like it really deserves it.
In a world where
people would be so mad if it won.
Would they be?
They would
be mad though. Well, yeah, I think the
PlayStation folks would be mad. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our spoiler cast for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Again, if you haven't played it, and hopefully we enticed you to, if you haven't, definitely check it out. But it is truly a great game.
Yeah, it really is. I would 100% recommend it. Go play the other ones as well. They're all on Switch, so you can play them all on the same console. Which is
it's awesome.
Unheard of.
Unheard of. But yeah, the other one we've got coming out here soon is A Plague Tale Requiem. I don't know if it's going to come out before this one or not, but so if it's already out, well, I'm sorry, but that'll be our next spoiler cast to get us through next week. All right, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.